Welcome back to Dani Plays. Today we're going to talk about Dead or Alive 6. Last time I talked about Street Fighter 5, the future of the game and how it's been doing in the past. If you want to check that out, I'm going to have a link down below. Now Dead or Alive is a fighting game that isn't as popular or big as franchises like Street Fighter or Tekken would be, but they're very famous for their mechanics and being a waifu style-ish game with mostly highlighting all the female and the male characters looking more exposed. Unique game that has different fighting game mechanics than other games would have. Now there has been a lot of controversies with this game, specifically Dead or Alive 6, with the developers focusing more on toning down. They wanted to focus the game more on esports too, but they took it to a point where most of the content that would allow you to customize your character to look more exposed, most of them unlock or you have to buy them separately with in-game money, coins as they're called, or real money. Now I see a lot of similarities with this game and Street Fighter 5 at launch. Both games didn't do well, they were missing a lot of things. Street Fighter is a big franchise compared to Dead or Alive, so it had chance to come back at some point, which it did. But Dead or Alive on the other hand was too late to add some features and still today is lacking a lot. Another controversy that's been going around is that Dead or Alive 6 didn't make it into Evo 2019, yet a game like Mortal Kombat did, and that upset a lot of fans, including me and the devs too, from what I've heard, which I can understand because obviously that's unfair and doesn't make any sense why Dead or Alive 6 didn't make it in when a game like Mortal Kombat did. So here's how Dead or Alive 6 launched. It was missing a few characters in the previous games that is now as DLC. Some of them which are included in the story mode that you have to pay for, such as Neo Tingo and Phase 4, and other collaborations like Mai is now a DLC again, so you have to basically pay for the same guest character. The same goes for Momiji and Rachel, both which were in the previous games. I said before, this reminds me a lot of Street Fighter 5. It looks like they went with the same route as Capcom did. And trust me, Capcom definitely take a hard criticism for that. They were missing a lot of features and content, such as lobby matches were not a thing, leaderboards were not a thing. Eventually they came later as an update, about a month and a half later. There is no tag team anymore, there is no custom music you can use. You can listen to music in the game, but you cannot set them as custom like you could in the previous game, Dead or Alive 5 Plus. There's no OMG mode, there's no, if you care about this, there's no Venus Vacation movies. And to begin with, there was a lot of grindy costumes. It was very grindy to unlock costumes for your character. When you were completing certain missions, you wouldn't unlock the costume for that character, but that was later fixed. Now the characters only had one intro and one victory pose at launch, but later there was added more to the game. They reused the same models and animations from the previous game. Unlike Street Fighter 5, they actually redid those. And a missing mechanic that many like from the previous game is Power Blow. But that depends on you if you liked it or not, or you don't care maybe. But that's not no longer here in the game. Being able to disable voice chat in the game. Now even games like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 had the option to mute the other player. When you join a lobby in Dead or Alive 6, there is in-game voice chat, which cannot be disabled anyway. You go to the lobby settings, there is no way. You go to the game settings, there is no way. Meaning that if you're streaming or you're with a friend on a Discord call or something, or both, well, that would lead to an echo going around. Not only that, not everyone prefers to have voice chat on in fighting games, or games in particular. However, there are some good things about the game that I can comment on. It has some decent tutorials and a new combat features. I actually like the combat and the fighting in Dead or Alive 6 more than Dead or Alive 5. The DOA quest is a nice option to unlock your costumes for your characters and complete certain missions and get you started. And the online option, if you want to fight the same opponent again, you can enable or disable that. And the overall look of the game, it looks better visually, and it looks brighter too. And then there's the controversy with the toning down of the game, which didn't necessarily mean that they were not doing any of these sexualized things anymore, but they were just focusing the game on being more realistic and focusing the game on the esports. And then there's that you have to pay for characters that were in the previous games, both Dead or Alive characters and guest characters, along with story characters too. And then there's the DOA Central, which allows you to have that Dead or Alive feeling if you care about, all this sexualized content in the game, which a lot of people do, since that is what Dead or Alive was known for. You have to grind or pay your way up for that. Example, Kasumi's default costume in 5 is different from 6. In 6 she's more covered than she is in 5. And that's pretty much what most of these default character costumes is in 6 rather than 5. And there's been problems with the PS4 version of the game that players couldn't buy costumes from the PlayStation Store. Apparently they had some troubles launching that, meaning they had to make a new feature for you to buy the costumes. It's much more difficult than it is with PC. You have to buy these premium tickets, and you have to buy a certain amount of the tickets to get what you want. Now the story mode itself, definitely not great, and the in-game cutscenes, they were pretty low res.
Excellent work.
Oh, Miss Helena, is there something I can do for you?
I do have something important I need you to do for me. But Mary Rose, I first need to know if you can handle it.
Season Pass 1 cost more than the game itself, the deluxe version of the game. Now we had Season Pass 3, which just came out here the other day, or was announced at least. All of the Season Passes have been more than $69, and I'm just sitting here losing my mind. I haven't been keeping up too much about it, so I don't know if the previous versions of the game had this too. I know that Dead or Alive 5 had a lot of lock content and a lot of DLC, but I don't remember if they had season passes like this at an expensive rate like this. And if they did, they should have learned not to do that in this game. But here we go. Season Pass 1 gives you 2 characters and it gives you a whole lot of costumes and a costume for the new characters. Now most of these season passes are highlighting costumes, not so much characters. You only get 2 characters and you're paying more than the base game cost for pretty much costumes. So Season Pass 1 includes 62 costumes and 2 new characters, released from March 2019 to June 2019. And here we have Season Pass 2. Season Pass will give you 72 costumes, 12 BGM tracks, and a new character releases on the period July 2019 September 2019, and features 2 new costumes as bonus content. Pretty much you're paying for those 2 costumes too, with the amount of price the Season Pass 2 cost. And this Season Pass unlocked Momiji. She was also in the previous game. And in Season Pass 3 you get 53 costumes, a new character released on the period of October 2019 to November 2019, and it features 2 extra costumes as bonus content. Now there is Dead or Alive 5 Core Fighters, so this is just like the previous version of the game. There's a Core Fighters version which will allow you to play online too, or in locally fight mode, as well as training, which I'm very happy is included. But you only have 4 characters and everything else is locked. You have the first chapter of the story mode is unlocked. You have to pay for the rest of the story mode. You have to pay for the costumes, the characters. So you'll be able to play as Hitomi, Base, Kasumi, and Diego. The game has gotten to a point where the PC fan base is pretty much non-existent. Not more than over 100 people playing it worldwide, as I see from the stats here. and that seems pretty accurate because I struggle to find matches there. On the console side, on the other hand, at least PS4, I don't know about Xbox, but PS4 seems to be doing alright online in finding players. Now, it's been confirmed that Dead or Alive 6 has shipped 350,000 as of April 26, 2019, and looking at the Steam charts, it looks like the game is between 100 to 200,000. They don't have the exact number, but that could mean that the console versions have performed better than the PC version has. So my overall take, if Dead or Alive 6 brought all the content that the last version of Dead or Alive 5 had, I think the game would have been better. It would have had more content, would have more features, and it wouldn't have as much problem as it did and still has today. So I hope the next version of the game will be a much better version. So I hope they learn a lot from this, because it seems like this game was rushed out. I just wish they had more time in development, because I want the game to be great. I love fighting games, and I hope to see more great fighting game studios redeem themselves, like Capcom I have done with Street Fighter 5 mostly. Still not there yet. Pretty much they've done a lot to improve. So yeah, I'll do a follow-up video of the game in a couple of months or years, depending on how the game is looking. If there's new bigger updates or a new version of the game coming out, I will cover that. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more of these types of videos, let me know down in the comments down below, and hit the like and subscribe button. Consider joining the channel for exclusive benefits, perks, and much more to come. For only $5 a month, you can help support me and the channel. And I'll see you in the next one.